Hi, Will. So here we are at the Song Athletics stand. I can tell because you've got a big poster with your name on, so it kind of gives it away. So what have we got new at the show?
So we've brought all of the sample packs that we've released so far. So that's probably the key attraction, is bringing everything together in this Ableton session here, and I'm showing people, and also got it on a couple of hardware devices for people to try too. But we've also got something brand new, which is our Ruiner plugin.
Ruiner?
Yeah, Ruiner. The clue's in the name, really. So it's a very simple but hopefully highly effective ruination device.
Right. Totally destroyer of worlds?
Yeah, we try to encourage, I mean, I don't know about you, but as soon as I've created any kind of sound, one of the first things I like to do is destroy it a little bit. Yeah. Just to give it that distinctive edge and make it feel a bit like your own. And you know, often is the way that you fire up a bunch of different plugins, and the risk with that, I don't know about you again, but with me I end up going down rabbit holes, and then I'm getting into sound design, and then I forget that I'm writing a piece of music. So the goal with Ruiner was to bring together 8 of my favorite effects all in one plugin, so that you could quickly and easily get that ruining happening and then get back to the music.
Right, let's have a listen. You go.
Yeah. So I've got a session here. So this is just a session based on some of our loops, and you'll be able to hear some melodic stuff, and then importantly some drums. Now I've got Ruiner on the drum track, and you can see here there's a mixture of controls. Firstly, we've got some time-based effects, so if I want to apply a stutter, I can do that. And what that does is, as you change the dial, it goes through different modes of start and chop points inside the sample, or whatever signal that you're passing through it. So you've got that happening there. And then if we move on to the granular one, what we've done here is designed our own kind of flavor of a kind of one knob granular function, which actually is probably less fun on drums. It's better for synths and vocal pads and things like that. But
are they kind of fixed parameters, or can you get underneath the hood and tweak them?
No, so these are, what you see is what you get, but I suppose we've curated them to work really well with a mixture of the type of music that we like. So you've got your granular effect there, a classic compressor, so you can, that's all the way up, just help bring all the quiet stuff up. And then we got some people's favourites, the Bitcrush, and that just, I don't know how well you're hearing
That's ruined it.
Yeah. Now this next one is my favourite, the harmonic distortion. So the model we've used here just really helps give it a fullness, a crispness. So actually sometimes I just use this single knob on its own.
So what's it doing? Briefly, I know that might be a complex answer, but in a
terms
nutshell,
of under the hood, or well, so it's just.
What's the harmonic relate to? What's it actually doing?
Well, so the harmonics is taking the harmonics of the signal. So these are the kind of overtones produced, and then effectively it's driving those harder than they normally would be and ought to be. And what that does is it's mimicking things like tubes and certain tape and old electronic analog gear would have that effect on the signal path as it's going in. So it's kind of mimicking what actually was an unwanted distortion, but people tend to relate people tend to think of relating to warmth and the thing that gives something a kind of roundedness and an extra musicality. So if you talk to audiophiles, it's all about kind of the right amounts of harmonic distortion and things like that. So think about it as a kind of, for want of a better word, a warmth knob.
Right.
But I know warmth gets a bit of stick sometimes. But anyway, it does sound great. So perfect on things like drums. Yeah. And then we've got classic overdrive, so actually this is great for guitars and things like that. So even if you've got a dry signal and you're passing that through, that'll make your guitars start to sound really crunchy. And then we've got a emulation effect, tape emulation effect. And this starts to introduce wow and flutter in different amounts.
So does it also kind of mimic tape compression and kind of frequency based? Or is it kind of the modulation of kind of the wow and
I
flutter?
believe that in this model it has all of that, but the primary factors I wanted to pull out is really the kind of wow and flutter elements, because we got the compressor in the other areas. But yeah, I think there is some of that in the model too. And then finally, we've got this static, and this one's particularly dear to me. I actually recorded these myself, so there's a two-part signal in there that's added. One of them is taken from an analog synth using the noise sources in there and running that out. But another component, we actually pressed some silence to a vinyl. So I got in touch with someone that has a lathe, and we cut the vinyl with some silence and then recorded that back in to get as close as we could to like a pure surface noise only signal. So that's in there, and really the knob is just blending between the two. And that's you get all of those, and you can obviously mix and match as much as you like, and there's a big mix knob, so you can kind of blend that with the input signal to suit. And yeah, I think for what it is, it's £20 UK price.
Oh, that's a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, so I think if you want that kind of something really simple, but you know what the end goal is, which is to create that destruction, then I hope it's a fun, simple little device. And it's in lime green too, which is a really great.
Can't argue with that.
It's a colour that's really struck a chord with me recently, so I felt like bringing that into the world on a GUI front was important. So,
So Kermit Green.
Yeah, Kermit Green. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Or Shrek Green.
Shrek Green.
Yeah.
Bogey Green. Whatever you're.
We should probably stop there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Will.
Great.
All the
Thank
best.
you.